Hello everybody and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. It is Friday the 3rd of January, it is 6:30, it is the day after the day before, and yes, I been smiling pretty much all day. I'm sure you've all been the same. I'm Scott Carnley. Joining me for what will be a fantastic podcast is, first of all, Ali Pearson. Ali, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. I probably left the pub at the right time last night. I think if I was
Nah,
one, two
I didn't.
pints more, I would have been really suffering today. But nah, good start to the new year by Rangers. Shout out to Colin and Colleen from the Aberdeen Loyal Carney that kindly bought us
Absolutely.
a drink and had to listen to us last night. We had a couple of drinks later on in the night. So I good to see them. But yeah, good start to the year. Let's keep it up.
Yeah, I stayed for one little too many, and a big also thanks to the Viceroy as well, because they were brilliant last night. They really were superb, and Scott was getting me involved in rum, which is a first for me, and I definitely paying the price for it today. But rum's really nice. I didn't realise, but rum's actually lovely. I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, but I've been better, feeling wise in terms of hangovers, but oh, what a day! What a day yesterday was. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And Ross McLean, Ross, you must be really hungover for all that water you drank yesterday.
I'm not gonna lie, gents, I'm just at my bed. I am still steaming as we speak. No, like, listen, yesterday I am still top of the world, gents. Yeah. There's a lot to speak about. I've been buzzing for the pod all day. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. It's what a way to kick off the year. It is honestly buzzing to speak about it, and yeah, let's just crack straight on.
Absolutely. Nicky is trying to join currently, but he's having right problems with his camera connecting for some reason, and I'm unable to help him from my end. So he's going to continue to try. So he might make an appearance. Hopefully, he makes an appearance. We'll wait and see. He's doing an update and restart, turn it off, turn it back on thing like you've got to do. So he's doing that just now. We'll see how he gets on with it. But yeah, look, just a tremendous day, really. Yesterday was, and it was everything that we kind of expected from Rangers. And yeah, the delicate head this morning was completely worth it. It's worth every single bit of it, because it was long overdue. It's long overdue since we've had the bragging rights, and it's nice to have the bragging rights. Look, yes, we'll obviously get into things a little bit more. I understand the gap at the top of the table is still very much there, but the manner of it yesterday was very pleasing, very, very pleasing. And yeah, we'll get right into things. Obviously, Ali and I done a reaction video after the game yesterday from outside the Viceroy. So Ross, I'll come to you. Up Rangers obviously winning 3-0 against Celtic, an injury-stricken Rangers pretty much put a full strength Celtic team to the sword. A performance and a result little would have predicted, mate. I think. What was your overall take on the game overall?
Definitely, I was not one that I predicted, that's for sure. I think, likewise, you said in the post match, mate, I was not feeling confident going into that game, I'll be honest. And the last few games, Rangers, it seemed like we almost chucked away the momentum that we had. Obviously, you had that Tottenham result, you had the cup final, which we came away as a hard luck story, but it then looked like, oh, we're going to see this pattern again. Whatever happened yesterday, it was remarkable from Rangers from the first minute. And it reminded me, if you go back to the 2021 season, the year after winning the league, we played Celtic at Ibrox. I think we won 1-0. It was a Hollander game. We had no Tav, we had no keeper. We didn't even have a manager actually. It was McAllister who was on the sidelines. Everything was against Rangers. I got that kind of similar vibe yesterday. Just everything seemed like it was going to be Celtic's game for the taking. But yet this team, whatever it is, Thursday nights, if there's anything Patrick Stewart can do, please make all our games a Thursday night, by the way, because there's something magic there. And we come away, yes, the gap is, it's looking tricky to see that we're going to win the league this season. But for me, it gives us massive confidence for this upcoming cup that we need to be winning that. So yeah, it's Club's first win over them. Please be the first of many. I hope it is. If he's the guy to take us forward, he's made a right good starting point yesterday. But yeah, it's a building block, and hopefully we can kick on.
Absolutely. Stephen Gillespie, thank you very much for the donation, mate. Very, very much appreciated. Really do appreciate that, mate. That's a great start to the podcast. But yeah, look, I agree completely pretty much everything you said. Ross, Ali, I want to read out a couple of stats just to kind of put things into perspective. Now, the only stat that Celtic were up in was the possession stats. Rangers let Celtic have the ball to an extent. They had 60% possession, say we had about 40% possession. Rangers had 24 efforts on goal, 9 on target. Celtic had 4 efforts on goal and 1 on target. 8 corners for Rangers and 4 corners for them. I honestly can't remember a more dominant display by Rangers. It was against Celtic. It's been years, absolute years. I think there was a crazy stat going out that's the most shots, attempted shots conceded from Celtic in like the history of the Scottish Premier League. I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure somebody floated that about yesterday. The way Rangers dominated the game is something we haven't seen recently. It's not something like we've had the odd win here and there. It's nowhere near enough. But for us to go out and do that the way that we did yesterday, that's why I was talking about a feeling of pride yesterday, because it was like we've changed the narrative, and I think we have to look at it like that. The manager has to, the players have to, but these stats alone, they're incredible reading. You're on mute. Well, in Scotia, good start there.
There we go.
Brilliant.
I muted it because the dog was creeping about in the background because I wondered what he was up to there. But no, those stats are 24 shots whatever was in goal against Celtic. Like I was saying when I was mute there, nobody could hear. Celtic's a good football team. They are a good team. They're not top of the league, 11 points clear for no reason. They're the best team in the league. They've had our number for years and years. We had to win yesterday, but the way we did it shocked everyone, to be honest. It was a kind of a dead rubber game in terms of where the league is. We're miles away in the league. We're not going to win the league, but it was a statement. I agree with Ross. It was similar to that game, the COVID game, if you want to call it, when all those players were off. Had that similar kind of feel to it. And yeah, Rangers absolutely battered Celtic yesterday. And I know a lot of the Celtic fans might turn around and say, well, Celtic were poor yesterday, but Rangers didn't let them play. They were in their face constantly. And it's the first time I was against Celtic, and you know what I'm like, and you're very similar, that even if we're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, you're still waiting for that moment they'll have. But I never felt it yesterday. At 1-0, 2-0, I never felt they were never in the game, Celtic. And we're Liam Kelly that came in, obviously, because Jack Butland wasn't available. He had nothing to do, apart from one save in the first half against, I think it was Hattati, which he should save, to be fair. And after that, second half, he could have laid a deck chair, to be honest. He had nothing to do, and you've got to give Rangers credit. And I give them credit. The only downside is it's too little, too late for me in terms of the league, in terms of we've thrown stupid points against other teams. But it's a benchmark. A lot of these players now know they can beat Celtic. I thought they were very unlucky in the cup final. I thought they had something to go out and prove yesterday. And I thought they proved it to themselves and to us as fans as well. Because I don't think any Rangers fan going there yesterday expected what we saw yesterday.
No, I think that was evident in the amount of people that we seen getting tickets, mate. They don't usually get tickets for the game, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. A lot of people were thinking, I'm not really fancy this. Look, and I get that. Honestly, I do, because I didn't have a great feeling before the game at all. I had very little buzz. It wasn't the usual kind of pacing the house, waiting to leave that I usually do when it's an Old Firm day. Usually I'm kind of all over the place, but yesterday I didn't really have it. Don't get me wrong, once I was getting closer to the time, you're getting to the stadium, the same thoughts always go through your head. Or you never know, something could happen. It could be slightly different. But the way the Rangers managed it, I agree with Ali though. Like even at 2-0, I was going, they'll still find a gear at one point. Like we've got a brain fart, and surely something's going to happen. But when we scored the third, I went, game over, game set and match. They were never coming back into it. And on reflection, obviously, you're kind of full of emotion when you're at the game and watching the game back today. Rangers were superb. The way that we managed to press them, we very much took the approach of your centre halves can have the ball. we will limit and make it extremely difficult to get it to the midfield too, which was Bernardo and Bernardo Hattati and Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor's obviously the one that makes them tick. He was nowhere to be seen really yesterday. Barami was pretty much keeping a close eye on him, and the way that Rangers pressed it just worked. No matter how many times we'll say Celtic were poor, I think Rangers made Celtic poor. And like Ali said, we didn't let Celtic play yesterday. We had an injury-stricken squad. They should have fancied their chances. They should have came here and they should have this, they should have that, but they didn't because we didn't allow them to. That's one thing that every single player, including the manager, has to take praise on, is that we imposed our game onto them, and we now know it can be done.
100%. Listen, yesterday Rangers won because Rangers were good. There's no excuses in the Celtic end. I get that the one change that they'd maybe make is maybe their centre back pairing, but come on, that Rangers doesn't take nothing away from Rangers yesterday. There's, everywhere in the park yesterday, whether if it was tactical or the players themselves, probably just a bit of both. Everyone was on it. Everyone, there was plan, there was structure, there was passion, everything you want from a Rangers team. We saw it yesterday, and again, as I said, it's too little, too late. If it was that a few weeks ago, we'd be holding a big shiny thing. But yesterday, just pride's the word. Pride is the word, mate. You've got players who we'll come on to, but Nicholas Raskin, wow. I mean, I had a Belgian waffle for my lunch. I've got one ready for after the pod. Honestly, I love the guy. I absolutely love him to bits. And yeah, it's just nothing will take away from me. Celtic can say they're poor, but nah, Rangers won yesterday. They played like a team who, if they did that, they could be top of the table. But hey ho. So yeah, there's nothing to take away from it at all, mate, for me.
No, I think we're quite right to enjoy it, and I'm just I enjoy the manner of it. It was no dodgy decision, no this, no that, no nothing that can really be flung back at you like, oh, you shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. Rangers were better. We were better on the day. We were the better team. We made Celtic try and play to play our game. We controlled the game. We let them have the ball when we wanted them to have the ball, and we moved them. We pulled them from pillar to post and moved them all over the park. We stopped them getting the usual areas of the pitch that they would get joy in, and I thought Rangers were great at it. And as I say, Clement has to take real credit for it. Ali, we will come on to speak about individual players, and I think there's only one that we can really start with. Nico Raskin, for me yesterday, he was the captain in James Tavernier's absence. A man that just stepped forward, that absolutely cemented himself as the middle of the park dominant player that we've kind of been looking for. Which when you watch the game back, the way he's winning, the aggression that he's shown, and aggression in the correct way as well, shown the aggression to win the ball back and to get forward and not giving them any space. Everything about Raskin's performance yesterday, he was captain on the day and he stepped up and gave a captain's performance.
Yeah. He reminded me of a Barry Ferguson type performance, which I've seen in old firms in the middle of the park. I like a captain in the middle of the park because they can dictate from the middle of the park. So, no, I thought he was fantastic. A guy, I mean, we talked about him on the post-match yesterday, but a guy that me and you both written off, to be honest. Probably says we could get rid of him. Whether it's down to injuries, whatever it is. I know they were on about his weight. He's down. He's obviously back fit now, but he's went levels above when he first came in at Rangers. Now Raskin, he's the first name in the team sheet in that midfield now. It's Raskin and who probably Diamandi now going forward. But yeah, he put out, it was a captain's performance. You see him in the park talking to players, getting the crowd up for it and everything. He was just everywhere. But he's been like that the last. Probably 5-6 games. He's been pretty much the man of the match and the guy that's drove Rangers in all these games. And that's the Nico Raskin we thought we were getting way back when we signed him, and obviously he fell away with injury, etc. But he's been absolutely outstanding. I can't fault him. And dare you say it, could he be a future Rangers captain on that performance and leadership in the middle of the park? Yeah, for me.
On performances like that, if he continues on the kind of path that he's on, the kind of performance, the kind of development, everything as well, we'll struggle to keep hold of him. It is as simple as that. He's that type of player that catches the eye. that he'll do the dirty work, but he also is very tidy on the ball, and I think that's something that's really improved in his game as well. I think his passing distribution's much better. I think his movement's a lot better. I think his game, his ability to read the game's getting much better. Everything about the guy's going in the right direction. And Ross, after the game, Raskin was interviewed, and there was, I suppose, there's only one real bit of controversy, I think, in the game. Well, two, if you the coin throwing thing, I'll quickly address that. See, if you're going to a game and you're throwing coins, you're an idiot. Just don't bother your ass going, because you're an embarrassment to the club, you're an embarrassment to yourself. So I'm going to leave that there, because I don't want to really speak about it. But it was a negative on the day. No, I'm literally not got a clue why you would do something like that. I honestly can't understand it at all. But if yeah, not that I would think you'd probably watch this podcast, but if you do, you're an idiot, and go to no do that, and don't go back to Ibrox. Thanks very much. But the controversy at the half time, McGregor should have been sent off. There's absolutely no doubt that he should have been sent off. And I thought the way that Raskin addressed that, he was actually quite clever in the way that he done it. He's just like, you either book both of us, or you can't just book one. And I can understand why he was kind of frustrated along the lines. But see the way that he spoke after the game, I thought, he gets it. He's got it. He understands it. He knows what this club's all about. And I think he probably was walking about 10 foot tall yesterday, and quite rightly so. Putting in a performance like that, being captain for the first time in an Old Firm game, cannot be easy for anybody. A game that everybody's wrote you off in, and to come out and perform like that, and then the way that they handle yourself in the media afterwards, I'm a bit blue love heart eyes for him just now, mate. I just think the guy's just coming on leaps and bounds, and he's first name on the team sheet for me just now.
First name on the team sheet, indeed, mate. It wasn't too long ago that Mr. Scotty Arfield actually said that Raskin would be future captain material, and you're now starting to see why. I don't know if it's always been there, whether we've maybe not seen it, maybe it's in the training centre or whatever it is. That this is what's in Raskin, and this is, a guy he's just about to turn 24. You're right. He's an asset for us. Clubs will be coming in for him, like especially, even that Tottenham game, he was running the show, so he's right in the, he's probably right in the kind of minds of clubs all in the world. So yeah, as long as we can keep on to him, the better. It's interesting with the captain thing goes. I think when Tav comes back in, he'll be given the captaincy, obviously. But if this is Tav's last season, if Raskin stays, that's obviously, don't get me wrong, Jack Butland, you can see he's a leader. Nico Raskin, you're right, middle of the park, somebody who can really kind of dictate and kind of orchestrate from that, I guess, influential area. He could be a real asset for us. But hands off him in January, by the way. Nobody, you're not getting a sniff, not at all.
I think right now the offer would need to be silly, because he's got a significant amount of time left on his contract as well, so it wouldn't be a silly offer, but everybody's for sale, that's the thing. If the offer is correct, he will go. It really is as simple as that. Ali, Ross makes the point there that already you're going to have people making the calls, because it's what happens, that he should be the captain going forward. Ross is spot on. When James Tavernier comes back, James Tavernier will be captain. I don't think Raskin would like to take the captaincy off him. I also don't think changing it halfway through a season is going to work for anybody. But what's your take? Should the armband go back to Tavernier, or should we attach it to Raskin and leave it with him? Because look, as well, Ali, me and you we seen Barry Ferguson in the middle of the pitch, mate. We romanticise our number 6 being the captain, because as we grew up with, either your centre half or your number 6 is your captain. It is just as simple as that. But what is your take on it? I just don't see them making that change. I know everybody will call for it, but I can't see something like that happening.
Nah, I can't see it. I mean, it happened years ago when Amoruso had the captaincy, and Advocat took it off him and gave it to Barry Ferguson when he was.
That's because Advocat fell out with him, but won it. So
no, I know. It wasn't really because he was fell out with Amoruso. But no, I can't see them doing it. You'd like to you'd think, we said that last season, that this is probably Tav's last season. I know he's got, is it one more year? If he stayed next season, he'd get a testimonial. Is that 10 years if he does stay next year? I think it is 10 years he'll be there at Rangers. But yeah, next year they need to be looking at, if Tav is even staying there next year, at a new captain for Rangers. Even Jack Butland is the assistant kind of captain. I don't like a goalkeeper as a captain. I know we've had it before with like Stefan Kloss and stuff, but I prefer a guy in the middle of the park. Like I say, that's what I said. You reminded me of a Barry Ferguson there. And thanks very much, Lockeye the View for your kind donation there. Much appreciated. But yeah, he's a guy that if somebody told me at the beginning of the season of what we had to pick from captains, he's probably a guy I wouldn't have plucked out there, to be honest, in terms of a captain for Rangers. But he's shown in the last, like I say, 6-7 games leadership, and he's drove that Rangers team. That's why I say he reminds me of a Barry Ferguson, because that's what he did with Rangers teams. I just hope he can continue what he's doing, because I think he's been unplayable for Rangers at the moment, and he's got to levels, like I've said, again, like after Tottenham, I said that I didn't think he could get to. We've got egg in our face because we'd written the guy off, completely written him off. And I hope other players do that as well. Other ones we've written off as well. But hats off to Nico Raskin, because he's been outstanding so far.
While we're dishing out the humble pie, mate, I'll stick with you, Ross. I will come to you, I promise. But we'll stick with it because Yanis Hadji is one that I think we have to speak about. And we probably need a wee bit of humble pie with him as well, mate, because he stepped forward in a big game and he performed. He done exactly what he was set out to do, and he was playing off the left yesterday as well. I know we change a lot. I know in terms of like him, Barami, Egerman, they will move about. They will easily kind of rotate between the three of them and playing either the 10, the left, or kind of through the middle. They kind of change about because Egerman likes to run the channels. But Hadji yesterday scored in that goal, and his response after scoring the goal, the way that he celebrated the goal, you could see how much it meant to him. You really could. What do we do with Hadji now, mate? Like, look, he's still a guy that I think we could make money on. I still think there's clubs out there that will pay for the name and the name alone. I think if the money's right, then yes. But there is no doubt, mate, that I was wrong about Yanis Hadji. I didn't think he was going to come back and make as much an impact as he did. He's not been fantastic, but if I had to pick who I wanted in my team between Lawrence and Hadji, it is Hadji every day of the week right now, because the guy's just stepped forward. I thought that's what I think anyway. So yes, humble pie, mate. I'll take another big spoonful of
it. I know. And the first guy I wanted to see when I went back to the pub yesterday was Scotia, because Scotia's a massive Hadji fan, and he's been banging the drum for Hadji even when he went out on loan last season. He's made a difference for this Rangers team, and thanks very much, Buffalo Wild Bears, for the kind donation as well. But yeah, I thought he'd be good as a squad option coming off the bench, because he's a good player, Hadji. He lacks that pace. But he's been again, like Raskin, he's been one of our best players in the recent weeks there. He looked like a guy yesterday that had a point to prove. I know his dad was in the stand yesterday, but he just looked angry, but in a good way, in a football park, that he wanted to get about. Obviously, he was a fantastic goal he scored. On the ball, I thought he was brilliant. He was linking up very well. He suits Clement's system, if you want to say, in terms of he can interchange with Barami as well. So, yeah, I don't know what we do with Hadji. Again, if somebody come in January and offered Rangers money for Hadji, he'll go. I think he will go. Rangers are probably looking at it going, he's in the shop window for us. He's performing well. So somebody could come in and potentially take him off Rangers' hands. Is he the guy for next season moving us forward? I still don't know, to be honest. But currently, he's another guy that's proved me wrong. I didn't think he'd come back and give as much a contribution as what he is. Does that say the guys before were extremely poor, though, and he's just standing out? I don't know. But so far, I can't fault him. And his effort's been first class as well. A guy that could have down tools, let's be honest about it. He's come back with the right attitude, and he's got a point to prove.
David Craig said in the chat there, has Hadji been playing away a move from the club? See, if he has, then it benefits the club right now. It benefits us right now. So I don't really mind that. Like, I think kind of in the future, if this player trading model is to work, we're wanting players to come and use us as a stepping stone. And usually when sort of like, that's the idea behind it. The guy that's coming, and this is the stepping stone, the club is his stepping stone. He'll play out his skin because he wants his big move to England, or he wants his big move to a big Europe, one of the big 5 leagues, or wherever he wants to go. So I don't really mind that. I mean, I'm happily going to take a player trying to win a move away by playing fantastic football, because it will mean that they score against Celtic, hopefully. Ross, what's your take on Hadji? What would you be doing with him? I think you were I'm always cautious that me and Ali are old men compared to you, and we like to have Rangers' da opinions, mate. But what's your thoughts on Hadji? I think he's been very impressive since he came back in. He's definitely made a difference. His effort and his work rate is second to none. I don't think he ever hides. I've never seen Yanis Hadji hide in a game of football yet. What do Rangers do with him?
For me, it depends on the money, mate. It does depend on the money. Look, I think you look at Hadji. If his name was Hamza Agaman, would we be having more praise for him? See, because we know who Hadji is. We've seen Hadji for a few years. Would we be maybe screaming a bit louder if he was a new player in the door? I don't know, but currently at the moment he's scoring goals, which is brilliant. He's getting assists. He's influential. He's a tin opener. He's one player that we need. Just somebody who can. When Brahmi just now maybe attacking wise isn't firing all cylinders, he's a guy who's really pulling the threads. He's doing what we need to kind of up our creativity. So it does depend on the offer. Obviously, if it comes to January and Galatasaray offer £8 million, I'll take him over there for you if you like. But if there's no massive offers for him just now, he's making contributions, he's making an impact, I'd be keeping him. And obviously you have got Tom Lawrence coming back, but you can't tell me that Tom Lawrence plays over Yanis Hadji at the moment. And Kieran Dibble I'm going to go on mute before I get any more pelters in the chat. But no, I'd be keeping Hadji just now, mate.
Yeah, no, I think the money would have to be right now, which is you always kind of want players to prove forward. And I'm also cautious that I don't want to go completely over the top because of what yesterday was and how good Rangers were yesterday. It is just one game, and another thing that Raskin said that I loved is like it is only 3 points, and I was like, that's good. That's very good. You're not acting like you have won the league. You know that is just 3 points. There is still a very considerable gap at the top of the top of the table, but it was just important for Rangers to get that monkey off Clement's back as well, and to get into their heads that they can do it, they can go out and they can impose their game onto them, and that's what we should be looking to do against all the kind of big games that we go and play, and we should be looking to impose our game onto them. And Yanis Hadji's been a part of that. So look, the money's got to be right for all of our players now, and as I say, I don't want to over romanticise what yesterday was in terms of keep everybody now, for example, but because I don't think that's the case. We still need to get rid of a number of players. But it was just good to enjoy the day yesterday. Honestly, it was just absolutely brilliant. See, leaving an Old Firm and not being on the ground after it was just great. Honestly, I floated down Plaza Road West, and I hadn't even started the run yet, so I was not doing the run, but I floated down Plaza Road West back to the pub. It was great. Usually that's a long walk, as Ali will agree. Before we go any further, I'll just hear a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, their Chairman Pro electric foil shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. You have the skin safe 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean. And if a clean shave isn't your style, just switch to the skin safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. The Chairman Pro comes with unique Flex Adjust technology, helping you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro is so powerful it can tackle up to a 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. Thank you to Manscaped for their continued support of this podcast. If you use our code at manscaped.com, then you'll be supporting this podcast. Get yourself kitted out with some Manscaped stuff. Their stuff is genuinely brilliant, superb stuff. And just thank you to everybody that used the code over Christmas as well. We'll get back to Rangers things now. Ali, we have to talk about Clement now. There is no getting away from yesterday. Every big decision that he had to make yesterday, including the starting 11, he got spot on. Bringing Ridvan in at right back, I think was probably floated amongst Rangers fans. We probably thought about what we were going to do in that case with Tavernier not being there, with Balogun being out, no Suter obviously, so the centre-half pairing was probably going to be Sterling and Proper. King didn't get a look in, as we mentioned on the post-match. Bringing Ridvan in worked a treat. I thought Ridvan was fantastic. Maeda had no impact in that game whatsoever. I thought the pace of Maeda was matched by the pace of Ridvan. I thought he was quite comfortable with it. I seen the meme going about that when Ridvan got in from the old firm to his house and he emptied his pockets, he found Maeda in there, which was great. Really, really great. And I think Clement, he got the team selection spot on, and he got his tactics spot on as well. I also quite liked, for once, is the way Clement handled the press conference afterwards. Where he says, "This isn't about me. This isn't. I'm not. This win's not for me." He's like, "Yes, you're now going to stop asking about that you haven't beat Celtic in the 7 attempts that he did. Now, obviously, he has 6 attempts. He's done it on his 7th. But where does it leave us with Clement? I still look." Do I still see a St Mirren game in Rangers? Yes, because we've got previous for it. However, I didn't see yesterday coming. I didn't see Rangers playing like that. I didn't see us dominating that. We have had many false dawns under Clement. We have to hope now that he has somehow managed to find a recipe to get the most out of the team that he's got currently. But where are you with Clement? What's your feelings around the guy?
Oh, God. It's difficult because the league doesn't lie. I know we can look at individual games, Celtic, the cup final, Tottenham. I thought he got it spot on in all those games. The cup final, we were unlucky. We were done by a decision. I mean, we've talked about that. In penalties, we were unlucky. But I thought he got it kind of spot on that day to nullify Celtic. He got it spot on yesterday with a makeshift backline as well, as you say, with Yilmaz playing right back, who was fantastic. A guy that I had my 3 top players yesterday. Yilmaz was in there too. I thought he was brilliant yesterday playing at right back. Nullified that Maeda. Didn't even know he was in the park, to be honest. And you always see Maeda, especially when he's up against Tav. But come on, he's got to put a run of games together, because, as you say, Carney, Rangers going to Hibs on Sunday. It wouldn't shock me if he dropped points there. Because that's how bipolar they are. They seem to turn up in these bigger games against teams that kind of want to play football against you. It's the teams like your St Mirrens, the ones with drop points, your Motherwells, that we really struggle against. He shot himself in the foot in A2 games by not playing his best team with those ones. I think that's really cost him in those 2 games, and I hope he learns from it. But as we said in the post-match, he's going to be there to end the season. He's got that game. If we get scalped yesterday, for me, he had to go. But again, we're going through patterns now of playing really badly. We want him to go, and then we have a big result somewhere, and you go, right, that's bottom time. We're going through the same pattern again. We had those sticky games where we fell away. Everyone went, well, we told you so, we should have went. And then obviously the game yesterday comes out of nowhere, and you're going, right, that's bottom time again. So he's there to end the season. I think he's been very unlucky with injuries as well, which we can't forget that. The background stuff at Rangers as well, in terms of he's been a mouthpiece for a lot of stuff that he shouldn't be as well. You need to remember that too. So he's been unlucky in those situations, but he will be there to end the season. I think you give him that. He's got a transfer window now to God knows what I've got to play with to bring players in, but I just want to see something going forward. And I was seeing that until St Mirren in Motherwell. We were starting to get on board with it. You could see it. And again, against Celtic there, you could see what he was doing, and it was working. So, yeah, for me, I don't know. Yeah, go back and forth with it because you get these big results. It's so, like I say, we could get beat off bloody Hibs on Sunday and you're back going, well, told you so. So he needs to put a run of games for me to convince me and win the Scottish Cup. Has to win the Scottish Cup this season for me as well. But he'll be there at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree now. After that win, I think no matter what happens for the rest of this season, I think he will still be in charge. Whether there's a decision to be made in the summer or not, it's going to depend on the way the rest of this league campaign goes and the way that the rest of the domestic football and European football goes, for talking sake. I think, Ross, if he manages to get us through in the higher bracket bit of the Europa League, we manage to get through that. We got another big tie out of that. Anything else after that's a complete bonus for Rangers, let's not lie. Due to the form, the monetary, everything kind of flung into it. Anything after that's a bonus. Rangers do perform better on Thursdays. Don't know why. It's just something that happens. There's probably no science in that at all, but it's just a matter of fact. There'll be a lot of fans that are teetering, like Ali, kind of going back and forth. I'm still not fully convinced by Clement. Look, and I'm not going to pretend that a victory over Celtic has completely changed my mind, and I'm all aboard the Clement train. But what he has done is buy himself a little bit more time, and he's took the pressure that was building on him. But there was absolutely zero doubt that it was building on him. He's took the pressure off by a performance like that, and you've got to give full credit to him. You've got to give full credit for getting it spot on. Is getting through Europe, winning the Scottish Cup, is that enough? Is that enough to keep him in the league, in the job, or does he have to beat Celtic the next two games that we play him? Does he have to beat Celtic at the last two games and get the gap down to at least, what would that be, 5 points if we won the two games? What's your take on it? Where are you with Clement?
I think it probably definitely needs to win the Scottish Cup for me, 100%. Europe, I think, yep, I think sees do well in Europe. It all depends on how many points are in the league. Like if, for example, our next few games, I've got them written down. You've got Hibs away, Dundee away, St Johnstone at home, Aberdeen at home. So that's before the kind of first cup game. If you drop points there, you surely work back to the same cycle again. But then we have this in us. It's so I'm kind of saying with Ali. I'm caught between two minds because you can't predict what's going to happen. You can't it's so hard to kind of judge it. You wonder the job that Patrick Stewart has on his hands is an absolute killer because he's a guy and he's still to make the decision. But you're right, he has bought himself a bit of time. Yesterday was Clement's biggest league game probably because out of his whole tenure, that was probably the game. If he lost, he was out the door. He was 100% out the door. So he's shown that in that pressured situation, obviously the players are responsible for it as well. But Clement, when he needed to, he stood up and he was counted. He got the result. So I don't know. For me, it depends on these next few games. Obviously, we can go into Sunday against Hibs, early kickoff. If we see us revert back, there'll be calls. But then again, as we say, build yourself a bit of a platform. You have this 3-0, go on and kick on. You've got an absolute glamour tie of Man U coming up at the end of the month. That's for me, the eyes on that just now. But kick on in the league as well. If you can narrow that gap, for me, obviously you have to beat Celtic every time you play them, but just claw the gap back. Give us a bit of positivity, and we'll back you for it. But as long as you don't revert back, then I don't know. You know where I'm coming from. It's such a tricky situation. But we've put ourselves in good stead after yesterday, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look, I get it as well, mate. I get where you're coming from because you don't want to be too knee-jerk and go, that's it, brilliant, he's class, everything's fixed, and then you don't also want to be completely knee-jerk the other direction. I think I eventually got to the point where I was like, that's plenty, and it was the St Mirren game for me that I was like, that is it. I am completely done with the guy. And then Motherwell just kind of confirmed it, where I'm going, we're just seeing the same thing over and over again. And then he goes out and does that yesterday. So you are kind of left kind of confused with your own thoughts, your own way of thinking about it. I think he's got a way to go yet to prove to me that he's definitely going to be the guy. But Ali's right, it's about building, and you're right, it's about building. It's about seeing more of that more consistently. And when things are bad, they're not as bad as getting beat 2-1 off St Mirren. You're still poor, but you're still winning games because that's what should be happening. I said before, and I said in the post-match as well, that the gap should Rangers have lost yesterday and it had went to 17 points, the gap is not 17 points. It just isn't. Rangers are not that far behind in terms. Celtic have still got a better squad and they've still got more money. Yes, all of that is true. But the gap is not 17 points. It isn't. It's just because it's Scotland, it's Scottish football. It isn't that size. So that's where I was coming from, and that's what I'm hoping that Clement is now. Again, we've got another another summit that we've reached there by him getting that monkey off his back, by him getting the decisions right yesterday. He has to keep that going. He has to. I agree. Like if he beats Celtic the last two games, or draw 1-1, whatever it may be, close the gap, win the cup, do decent in Europe, get us through Europe, then I think he'll probably be rewarded with another crack at the whip. This window as well is massive for him. He has to get players in that start, and I don't really know how he does it on the budget that he's probably going to have or not have, but he has to get some players out in terms of recruiting anything for them. The likes of Matondo, the like of Dessers, the like of Dow. You have to move these guys on. Do you have to take whatever you can get from them and put it back into the club and then use it to try and be loan players, be it signings, whatever it needs to be? But Rangers need starters. We're going to need people in order to maintain this rotation system that he uses, etc. So this is a massive window for Philip Clement. So I just hope that this is it now, and that we can start all really getting kind of fully behind him. Not that I'm not behind him, because he's a Rangers manager and I want him to succeed, but I'm not quite, as I say, I'm looking at how much the ticket prices are for the Clement train, but I've not went and bought my ticket yet. So, but he needs to build more on what we done yesterday. Speaking of the transfer market that has been floated about today, mate, Ali, that Ryan Kent has been linked with Rangers after he is leaving Turkey. Pure and simple for me, just not for me, because I just don't think it's going to work. I really don't. Look, if it's 6 months and he's getting paid near enough nothing, then fine, okay. If he wants to just come play football, then fine, give it a crash. But Rangers should not be investing money into a deal like that for me if it's going to be a significant outlay.
Oh, this is no, I've seen it today. I've seen Heart and Hand didn't poo-poo it either. I know they said it didn't say it was true or anything, but it didn't say it was completely false. We are trying to shave the wage bill at the moment. We're trying to bring that down. We're trying to bring the age of profile of players down in terms of. Now we've got Diamantes, Barons, Jeff Days, these type of players. That's what we're trying to do going forward. If he was within our structure, new structure I'm talking about now in wages, I'd give him 6 months. I think we lack somebody like a Ryan Kent on the left-hand side. I think him, a chair on the right, I think that would be a good... I could see that working for us. But again, I don't like going back and bringing players back that have been previously. So I'm on the fence with it, to be honest. Would I be upset if Ryan Kent didn't come by Rangers? No, I wouldn't at all. If the option was there and it was on a low wage for 6 months, and I think there's a year extension that's been floated about. Yeah, he's a good player, Ryan Kent. When he was at Rangers, I know the last 6 months, whatever it was when he was at Rangers, he kind of down tools, but he was a good player at Rangers. And it was a guy got you off your feet as well. So I'll wait to see in that one. I've seen young... I don't know if you're going to come on to Carney, but I seen young Robbie Fraser's left the club today to go to Livingston on loan. He came on for the last 5 minutes yesterday, I think. Thanks very much, Billy McWhirter.
Thank you,
much
Billy.
Appreciated. But he's left to go to Livingston, which I think is actually a decent move for him. Livingston, I think they're second in the Championship, trying to win that league to get promotion back up to the top league. Obviously, he's going to be playing in that bloody plastic park, but... I think that's a decent move for him to get football in. I think we sort of floated about Leon King should be looking to get a move this window because he's nowhere near the team. But Ryan Kent, if it was in low wages, aye. But if it's stupid wages, no. Like I say, I wouldn't lose sleep on it.
No, Rangers on Tour has said that Rangers Review have come out and said that the Kent deal isn't happening, so he's ruined this segment for me a little bit. Thank you very much for that. But Ross, theoretically or hypothetically even, Ryan Kent, if we could move out Matondo, move out Dow, and you're paying him half of the wage that you were paying Matondo or half of the wage you were paying Dow for 6 months, a low risk for Rangers. The guy's been here and done it before. He might use it as a bit of a stepping stone. Again, I'm along the line with Ali. I'm not a big fan of just claiming to get players back from teams that has not went for them previously, yada, yada. So I can see pros and cons in both.
There's definitely pros and cons in both. Look, Ryan Kent, he is a good player. He is a good player. He's got it. But for me, we saw what he was like at the kind of his last few months at Rangers. Does Rangers motivate Ryan Kent anymore? That's the kind of problem. Will Ryan Kent play for Rangers the same way that he did in 2020 to 2021? I don't know. I think you're spot on. If the wages are right, and if we can get a Matondo, it also depends as well. Where does Kent fit into the team? Do you actually bring out an Iggy or a Tierney just now? Probably not. You probably wouldn't bring him out for a Ryan Kent who ultimately was kicked out the door by a Jose Mourinho side. So I don't know where he'd fit in just now, and I don't know if he'd be happy to sit on the bench. So it does look hypothetical. I'm a Ryan Kent fanboy. I absolutely love the guy. He's kind of the first player that I looked at and I was like, yeah, like he's class. But again, it's kind of moving past that sentiment as hard as it is, and going, is Václav Tierney the new Ryan Kent? We don't know. We'll need to see. But not for me if the wages are high. But yeah, I'll keep my Ryan Kent shirt until the day I die.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. That just shows that when you say things like that as well, it just reminds me how young you are, and I'm like, God's sake, like God Almighty, man, Ryan Kent. But look, I get it. As I say, I can see a bit of both in it. But look, according to the Rangers on tour, the Rangers review, that it is not going to be happening. Ali, Johnny Evans, seen that one linked? What's your thoughts on that one?
Wage Johnny Evans, 36 or something, 36
or something. Aye.
I know he's is he Man United? I know he went back to Man United.
I don't know if it is now. Is it Man United now?
Yeah, I know he went back to Man United later on because he was at Leicester for a while. And
yeah, Man United
in the Championship. Yeah. But he's back at Man United. I know that. But
37 actually is, yeah. 37.
Right.
It's his birthday today. There you go. Happy
birthday, his birthday today. Happy birthday, Johnny Evans.
Happy birthday, Johnny Evans. He's a good player, Johnny Evans. I think he's naturally a fit player. I mean, obviously, we signed Davy Weir at a ripe old age, and he played on to 41 with Rangers, which we never seen coming. But we need two centre halves, big style. We need a guy to come in. I think. Because Proper for me, I know Proper was all right yesterday, again, but he just doesn't do it for me. Johnny Evans, I think, would be a good player to bring in as a stopgap. He's got leadership. He's played with Man United, obviously still at Man United. Northern Ireland internationalist. He's a Rangers fan as well, is he not? So, if he was available, and again, it's not stupid money we're talking about here, yeah, I'd bring him in, because for me, we don't know how far Suter is away, but we need one, if not two, centre-halves in this window.
Well, that's genuinely like if Evans comes and Balogun gets fit again, that's literally like playing you and I, Ali at centre-half. That's
Davy Weir and Ugo Egiog, that's what it is. It's going back to that. Yeah, Walter Smith came
back to that kind of mould, yeah. What's your thoughts, Ross, on Johnny Evans? Do you take him?
Oh, I don't know. It does depend on the whole kind of if Balogun can stay fit. I do think if Balogun can stay fit, I trust him to the rest of the season, because I'm again big Balogun fan. But yeah, he's been playing at one of the biggest clubs in the world. He's a biggest name in football, so I'd take him for some birthday cake going as well. I'll take it. But if he can stay fit, then yeah, I think I'd probably take him in.
Yeah, well, interesting one to say that it is time that it's already the 3rd of January. I'm like, right, Rangers, when are we signing somebody? Why have we not done it yet? But you've got to hope that something is in the pipeline soon. But yeah, Johnny Evans was one that was kind of floated about. So whether that's a loan, stopgap loan, or what, I don't know, because I say, not sure how far away Suter that is just now. Obviously, Balogun's injured and Proper's got a way to go to convince me that he was good yesterday. He was, but everybody was good yesterday, though. That's the thing. I thought the whole team collectively was good, but he's still got a way to to convince me that he's got what it takes to be our centre half. Before we finish up, we'll discuss the upcoming game at Easter Road. Rangers will travel to Edinburgh on Sunday for a 3 p.m. kick-off. Isn't it? Yes, it is 3 p.m. It is 3 p.m.
I think it's 12 o'clock.
No, it's 3. Oh, it's 12. No, I'm wrong. I see Ross. See, there's a reason why I've got Ross. It's midday. Brilliant.
It's on Sky, I think.
Yeah, so midday kick-off. Apologies for that. So, yeah, Hibs have definitely improved. The way they started, they've moved up to 7th, I think, now. Yeah, 7th, and they've won 4 of the last 5, and they drew yesterday with St Johnstone. Ali, this is it's one of those ones that we always say, oh, it's tricky going to Easter Road, it's a tricky place to go and that, and we say it all the time, and it never really should be, and it never really ends up being like that either. We tend to do all right at Easter Road. What's your thoughts ahead of it? I think I know what you're going to say, but what's your thoughts ahead of the game on Sunday?
David Gray, the Hibs manager, was on Sky today, got interviewed saying that Rangers will be, he was kind of saying along the lines of Rangers will be fearing coming to Hibs or something, or not wanting to get Hibs at this time or something. I was like, well, Rangers should be going beating Hibs regardless of what Hibs have won 4 games, 5 games, whatever it is. Rangers should go Easter Road and beat Hibs. Rangers need to use, and we've said it umpteen times this season, yesterday's a springboard. They need to go Easter Road and get 3 points for me. If I could get a performance and goals, fantastic, but just go and win the game, because we get, as Ross rhymed off all those games, we've got some big games coming up. Away at Hibs, away at Dundee on a Thursday night. Aberdeen coming as well, who've fallen off a cliff now. But you know they'll raise their game for us when it comes into that game.
Beat 2-1 yesterday off County, wasn't it? They get beat
2-1 off Ross County. They're now 4th in the league. Dundee United have actually overtaken them in goal difference. And that's mental, their form recently. But we'll get on to that one nearer the time. But Hibs, I mean, the last few years we've actually been pretty decent Easter Road, Carney. I know I've watched a couple of games up at your house against Hibs in the last season or so, and we've done quite well up at Easter Road. Won convincingly a lot of the time. So I'm expecting Rangers to go up there with a very similar team what we played on Saturday and beating Hibs. Like I say, if I get a performance, fantastic, but just got there and beat Hibs, get 3 points and come back along the M8.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way Hibs have been playing, I think might suit Rangers. To be honest, I don't think Hibs will sit in. I think Hibs will. I think Hibs will give it a
They always play against Rangers. They always play.
Yeah, they've got nothing really to lose even. So I'd imagine they'll be thinking about having a go. And yeah, it is sick of the back scene. Sick to the back teeth of saying it, but Rangers need to kick on. We need to see a continuation of what we've seen. As I say, you're just wanting to continue to see progress. I want to see the curve. I don't want to see peaks and troughs. Do you know what I mean? I want to see the upward curve, and that's what we have to go on now. That's a massive relief for everybody involved at Rangers, and fans alone, fans as well. That we managed to get the victory yesterday in the manner that we did. So everybody should be feeling pretty good about themselves, and I think Rangers could get a bit of joy on Sunday. I really do, because I do think Hibs will come and they'll have a crack at it, because I say they've got nothing to lose. They're trying to get themselves up the table as much as they can. They're out that point, but it was a wee bit shaky for them for a while, and they're just trying to claw as many points back as they can to get up there. Ross, your thoughts ahead of the game on Sunday?
Yeah, it is a venue that we always say, it's always usually Hibs and Hearts, so will struggle up there, and we usually do okay. We do usually do okay. Four wins at the last 5. That the kind of outlier being that draw yesterday. I remember it was 1-0 at Ibrox, that Tom Warren screamer the last time we played them, and they didn't sit off us. I thought they actually played alright. They missed a penalty. So yeah, we kind of know what we're going to come up against. The manager's clearly saying they'll be confident. Will that play into our hands? I hope so. But you're right. See if yesterday's performance can't get you gallivanted up for the game, what's gonna do it? You know, you're 3-0 up against your biggest rivals. Yes, the gap's there, but if there's ever a platform to kick on, it's Sunday's actually probably a bigger game than I realised, because it is really the stepping to kind of kick on. So I hope we see it. I don't know what else is gonna kind of cheer up the players. But I'll be positive and say that we're gonna absolutely thud Hibs. until we unfortunately probably draw one each or something. But until then, I'll stay positive.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just laughing there, Ross, because I noticed a comment from David Todd here, boys. We scored for a set piece yesterday. Yes, we did. And a corner at that as well. Remarkable things. The life really went full circle yesterday. It really did. Yeah, it was brilliant. So, yeah, on that, Ali, your score prediction and your team selection, your team prediction ahead of Sunday.
The team for Sunday, Christ. It's hard to predict a Clermont team, to be honest, because I think he will make slight changes. If it's me, I'm playing the exact same team. I think the exact same team deserves. I know you can maybe say Danilo could maybe come in, but I'm playing the exact same team that played against Celtic. I think they deserve to play and kick on from that. I think the back line picks itself. I thought they were very good. We all know Hibs will come out, the usual all guns blazing the first 5-10 minutes. But yeah, I'll pick the same team that played against Celtic, and I'm going to go 3-1 Rangers. Czerny to score the first goal, because I think they will score Hibs.
Yeah, my score prediction's exactly the same, mate. I've got Rangers 3-1 as well. I would make one change to the team that started yesterday, and I would bring Danilo back in for Barami. And the only reason I'm doing that is not to take away from Barami, because I thought he managed his business very well yesterday. He kept McGregor quiet the full game. But the only reason I'm doing that is it's away, so it tends to be a little bit more difficult for Rangers when we play away. The away form hasn't been great. It is still a question mark around Clermont, but how we play away, and I think Danilo's got me a chance of scoring than Barami does. So that's why I would play Danilo, because I think Danilo's in and about that area that you want him to be in. So yeah, that would be and he did score yesterday as well. So that
folk
would be.
Sorry, Carney. Folk in the comments are going about Raskin getting banned. Is he not banned for the Dundee game? Is it not the Dundee game though? I thought it was Dundee.
Is it Dundee? So it's not this one. I don't know.
I'm sure it's Dundee.
Raskin ain't out to Dundee. There we go. So I don't know. Well, I think it is Dundee as well. So anyway, that would be my team. 3-1 as well. And I'm going to go for Agaman to get back on the score sheet. And I'll go for him to score first. Ross?
I'm the same with you, mate. I think that I'd bring Danilo back in with no bad words to say about Barami yesterday. It's the performance yesterday, Barami, that he won't get the headlines, but if you watch him off the ball, he's, especially looking back at it today, he absolutely nullified McGregor, and the more of that the better. So yeah, I'd bring in Danilo. It wouldn't surprise me if you see maybe a Baron come in for Diamande. Again, Clermont's teams are very unpredictable, but you can't change what yesterday was. You need to let them them as players as well, kind of cement themselves in the team, especially with this upcoming run of fixtures. So I'm going 2-0 Rangers and Czerny back in the score sheet.
I'll take it. I will take it, mate. I'll take any of the results at all. But I agree. I think it would be a nice reward for the players to keep the team as similar as you could and say, right, lads, you earned that, so on you go do it again, and see what comes of it, because they'll be feeling pretty good about themselves, and rightly so. That will do us for tonight. Before I go, Ali, who's winning the darts tonight? Who are you taking?
Oh, Michael Van Gerwen's been there and done it, innit? But look like he's
brilliant.
What can you say? Was he 17 or whatever? 17, 18, whatever it is now? He just looks like a guy. He's got no pressure. He just got up and played darts, and he's fantastic at it. I know he absolutely humped Bunting last night, so I'm going to go Littler tonight.
Yeah. I'm taking Littler as well. I think Littler will do it. Van Gerwen's a tough one though, because if he shows up, he's such a good counter striker, isn't he? So sorry, this has turned into a bit of darts chat, but yeah, it's exciting. I'm very much looking forward to tying this up and going and sit and watching the darts. Ross, do you watch darts now?
I don't, mate. I don't. I'm not gonna lie. My life is Fortnite and FIFA, and yeah. So that's all I've got. Unfortunately,
he doesn't drink, Carney, though, so the darts is useless for him.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just thought I would ask. But no, right. Anyway, that will do us for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks to all the donations tonight as well. If you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff, that would be magic. Ali, thank you very much.
No problem. Good to start the year on a positive note in the podcast. Hopefully continue in 2025, but that's over to Rangers. But no, looking forward to Sunday, and just looking forward to the darts final tonight. 500 grand for the winner.
Oh, some of that. Absolutely brilliant. Ross, thanks very much, mate.
Can the winner buy us a centre back? By the way, no, thank you, guys. Cracking pod as always. Let's build on it from Sunday, and hopefully bringing you a positive reaction.
Yes, we will be back on Sunday after the game, win, lose or draw. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will speak to you on Sunday. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.